Yep. Okay. So yeah, Joe Foster, he has a tarp because it's listed right here in the document name. We see right here, tarp. And basically, how I'm evaluating whether there's a tarp or not is I'll go inside the rate confirmation itself, and if I'm able to, I'll let Adobe Acrobat search for the word tarp within the document. And most of the documents that we get are PDFs and they're living forms. They're not scanned in, they're actually generated and then printed as a PDF. So when I get it, I can just let Adobe Acrobat scan the document for me to identify if there's a tarp or not. So let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's see. So for this, we'll just show you right here. I'm going to pull over the window right here and we'll minimize it so it's screen. And then so I'm just gonna dial in Control F and I'll say tarp. Find me a tarp. And if there's a tarp in this document, there'll be an exact match. And you can kind of click it and you'll see here it's noted that this is a tarp load. Okay, so this is how we know that there was a tarp load. All right, and so we can kind of do that for all of these if we wanted to. I've already gone through these with this process. Say, find me a tarp. And there's no exact match here. So I know that this was an untarped load, so don't have to account for it. So I've already gone through all of these and identified the ones that do contain a tarp, and this is the only one. Okay, so Joe gets paid for having to tarp the load. All right, so we'll go back to form here, and we'll say 0. Now, because this was a full load, it requires 2 tarps. Okay, so we'll put 2 tarps. Um, we know that Joe's truck, all of our trailers are about 50 feet long, and the tarps are about 25 feet long. So if you want to fully tarp a load, it's going to take 2 tarps. Okay, so that's what he had to do. And so we'll put 2 there. Ruben had 0, Van had 0, and Vincent usually always had 0 because he's the type of hotshot loads that he carries generally never require tarps. So I'll go ahead and while I'm here, I'll center align cells. Detention. There was no detention. There were no layovers. There was no miscellaneous. Alright, so this is our weekly revenue report. This is kind of how we arrived to this end display for our report. And a lot of it was done for us, but we did have to do some manual calculations. Real simple, easy formulas to kind of get all of our numbers together. And this bottom section down here was pretty much just manual entry. And so what we want to do is we want to rename this file to WE for week ending in the date of, it was the 19th. So the week ending February 19th, 2020, and then we'll call it gross revenue. So this is the gross revenue report for this week. All right. Now what we want to do is we go ahead and save this as a PDF. So I will hit Control P on keyboard. And this is basically what we want to see here. And I will add a few more items. I'll add a page number. I'll tell it that we want to see the workbook title. Then we also want the current date. All right, and then we'll click next. And we'll choose save as PDF. Then we will download it to gross revenue folder, and we'll save it there. Done. All right, and then so management will receive a copy of this report, and they will go ahead and process quote unquote payroll. Technically, we have 1099 contractors, but for lack of a better term, they'll produce the payroll or they'll pay out the payment expense for all of our drivers, so everyone gets paid, dispatch, so on and so forth. All right, so that is how we generate the weekly revenue report. So happy reporting.